Hey everybody, hope everybody's been good. We're going to do another channeling with the ancients. So just give me a minute and we'll bring them in. Once again, I really appreciate everybody's support. We're starting to get more subscribers. So if you really like these videos, please share them. Please subscribe. Leave a thumbs up or even a thumbs down if you don't like it. And please leave a comment. I really would like to know what you guys are thinking about these channelings out there. So just give me a minute and we'll bring in the ancients. And I really appreciate everybody's support again. We are going to talk to you about the rules of this paradigm, of this sector of the universe. The original intention of this sector was free will, where anything goes. The species that inhabited this planet, which have been many, and souls have been incarnating on this place in various forms for the experience of the third dimensional experience. The rules of this paradigm are quite simple, yet convoluted. The rules of this paradigm would be so clear if you were connected to your higher self within your physical forms. But because of the DNA manipulation of your controllers that were placed on your current physical form, you're not fully connected to your higher self, or where you can remember past lives, whether in your current human form or even a different version of the human form, or of a totally different species or form of consciousness within a physical form. Because the rules of free will come into play, those rules can be bent and manipulated towards the benefits of your current controllers. So, how do we play the game within this current form? First, your thoughts. We've been talking about how your thoughts create reality, which is the base of everything. Secondly, your energy. Where your thoughts flow, your energy will follow. Thirdly, putting physical action behind your thoughts and energy. That creates your reality. Too many of you think that you just think it, forget it, and it happens. To some extent, some things can happen that way. But many of you are missing the third piece, the action. You must put some type of action within your manifestation, within the rules. Doesn't mean you have to work hard. So, for example, say you're trying to manifest money. Your intentions are firstly saying, I need the monetary funds in order to buy a new car. So you set your beliefs and your intentions. Secondly, you set your energy. And that means envisioning your beliefs within your mind, knowing that it's going to happen. And not necessarily knowing the details, but knowing that setting forth within the universe that it's going to happen. And then thirdly, setting the action. So maybe you pick up a part-time job and save, or you get that raise at work by working harder. The action is also keeping your thoughts positive every day. A counterproduction of actions will be worrying about how will I get the funds. So when you set steps 1 and 2, step 3 is what holds many of you back within the rules of this paradigm. And some of you will be familiar with it as called the law of attraction. If you think about it day after day and day of why isn't it coming true and looking the glass is half empty, that's what keeps you from getting what you want. Many of you say, I've set my intentions, I put my energy, I'm working hard, but I just cannot come up with the funds to get a new car. And many of that happens, like we said, because you're wanting something so much, you're thinking about it, but you're looking at it from the glass half empty perspective. You need to set your intentions, pull your energy into that, and then do the action of, I know it's coming to me, and kind of forget it, but work towards the goal. And that means keeping your thoughts positive by saying, I know it's here, it's going to come to me. I just have to wait for the correct time. And that's how you manifest and control your energy within the rules of this 3D world. Now, some of you may incorporate all 3 steps, and you can manifest everything you want to a certain limit. You can't just say, I'm going to be a millionaire. You have to work towards it. There has to be a solid foundation of action behind the energy and the intention. Your minds and your energy are very powerful. So there's a balance that is needed in order to manifest. Our conduit was having a conversation with someone, and they were talking about how they wish they could help their grandchildren. And the conversation went back and forth, and our conduit told the person that he was talking to, you're doing too much wishing. What actual actions have you taken? And there was nothing. The thoughts were there, the energy was there, but the 3rd step is what actually fell short. And he told this person he was talking to, why don't you find the necessary resources, community services, but first you must change your thought, take away the blame, because that disrupts your energy. You're blaming yourself for something you can't control. And I think at the end of the conversation, the person understood the steps that were taken in order to help her grandchildren. A good example of making something manifest is just looking at your everyday lives. If you have food, if you have shelter, if you have the means to meet your bills each month, then you're actually manifesting what you need. Too many of us look at once again, the glass is half empty. Say if a person's meeting all their bills and, things are tight, and they're able to save $150, $200 a month, and they have some kind of surplus, they'll look at it as saying, I wish I could save more money. Instead of looking at it, look at the money that I was able to save. And if you look at it from that perspective, then it becomes a snowball effect. The next month, you might be able to save a couple $100 more. Maybe the 3rd month after that, you get a raise at work, or you come into an inheritance, or you get a bonus. things just can't happen instantaneously. You gotta have the right parameters and the settings and the timelines set up. And there's a lot of action of knowing that it can happen. So step 3 of the action is where many people miss and how they're looking at the perspective. So if you look at your life as just getting by, just struggling, then that'll be your reality. But if you look at it as I'm making all my bills, I'm able to save each day, each month, and say, wow, look at the wealth that's rolling in, where I'm able to meet all my demands and still have some left over, then that creates the energy of surplus and momentum. We all think that to manifest money, we have to become millionaires. And unless we do that, we're not manifesting. But by having a job each day and able to meet your demands, you're manifesting wealth. So we highly suggest how you look at different situations. Energies also come into play, seasons of growth, your soul path on what it wants to accomplish within its mission. There are 2 things that many of you want. It's always love and money. Love is a little more complicated, which we'll talk about in our next session. But once again, the parameters are playing within the game of this paradigm is your thoughts, energy, and action. And it's not at your time. It's at the time that it's needed. We highly suggest meditating and reinforcing the positive notions and looking at the positive things in your life to build that momentum or snowball. And you'll see that your life will slowly change around into a direction that you want. You are very powerful beings, and your thoughts can expand your abilities and your powers and help starting to connect more with your DNA and your higher self to tap into that limitless potential that each one of you have. Alright guys, so hopefully everybody enjoyed that session. Go out there, see what you can manifest. Try to give yourself a lot of positive reinforcements, affirmations, and start playing with the energies. See what you can create. I know from personal experience, I remember when I was probably about 18 and I was dating my ex-wife. I remember I was at work and I saw somebody, one of my friends, have pig's feet with rice and beans. And I was like, wow, I never had that before. And it smelled really good. And I remember having that desire to saying, wow, I really want to try that. The desire in me was very, very strong. And I was like, wow, I really want to have it. And I could taste it and smell it. Not that I tasted it as food, but I'm saying in my mind I could taste it and I could envision it. It was there. I just saw it in my mind the rice and beans and the pig's feet. And even though I never tasted it before, I could smell his lunch or dinner, whatever it was, and I could taste it. And the funny thing is, I was dating my ex-wife at the time. She had never mentioned pig's feet, um, you know. And I went over there later on that day, and sure enough, her mom out of nowhere made pig's feet. And I ate it, and it was what I thought it was. And that's before I got into all the spirituality and manifestation. That's going on 25 years ago. Before I even knew anything of this crazy spiritual journey I've been on. But that always stuck in my mind, and I think that was a signal for me that, or a red flag that always stuck with me, that I needed later in life to help kind of understand how manifestation works. And I'll never forget it. And the cool thing about it was the desire was there. So I had the thought, I put the energy that I wanted it, and then the action was I envisioned it, I could taste it, I could smell it, and then after that I didn't think about it, but in my mind I already had it. And then a couple hours later, boom, it was there. um, I wish I could do that all the time with manifestation, but it was a good foundation and building block. And another thing I can't really stress about manifesting things is sometimes it takes a little slower. I think an important piece that the ancients left out was, well, I believe they talked about the soul plan. I think they should have went in a little more detail that your soul comes here to, experience things and learn from them. And part of manifesting is you'll get what you need to get you to that next stepping stone. It may not be a whole solution to your problem because you got to kind of go through that experience. And sometimes that's about the timing. I know when I was going through my divorce, it was very, a couple years of hell. And, as much as I wanted it to get over, it was an experience that I had to go through to help me get to where I am now. But every roadblock that I came across, I always had a stepping stone to get me to that next stepping stone, to that eventual solution that I did need. So even though I was frustrated and angry, I would manifest what I needed at that moment to get me to that next spot. And sometimes it worked, and sometimes I really just worried about things where it didn't work. And, the universe had to come into play and say, you know what, here you go, to get you back on track. Because we all need help at times. And, you have your guides and your guardians to try to steer you on the right path. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I think also they could have spent a little more time on the action part. I think in their minds it's very simple, and they're taskmasters. For them to get from point A to point B is in a straight line and very simple. And having that experience on Earth, and the ancients are learning from us. They use, I know, the experiences I go through to learn, as well as others that they work with, so they can gain knowledge in order to help guide and try to reset the course that this original intention was for this planet and for us. So, that's why I always stress, be careful who you listen to in the spiritual community. Just because someone says they channel or they're a spiritual advisor, you don't know who they're tapping into. It's a very, very precarious situation that channelers get into. And that's why I always ask for feedback because, number one, you don't want your ego to get involved, or who are you actually tapping into. It's not like they come into the physical world and say, hey, I'm the ancient builder race. You have to make sure you're tapping into the right people, because a lot of people, they'll tap into the wrong energies, and they can pull the wrong energy through. So that's why it's always important to control your energy. You don't want to get parasites on you or different energies that are looking to bring you down. So I think that's why the last couple of sessions they've been talking about how to control your energy and your thoughts, because it's a battle every day, and you have to reset your mind each day, because we're just bombarded with electronics and the news and other negative people. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and the next session, I'm gonna kind of tell them they got to get a little more detailed oriented on their explanations of things, because to them it's very simple. So we kind of talked about money or manifesting material objects, or what you need, and how to look at it is the key and the linchpin. It'll be interesting to see what they talk about love, because they are pretty straightforward and blunt, and I've never really talked to them about love. I think love to them is just, I don't know. I wouldn't understand or know what they experience as far as love, or what their empathetic or sympathetic feelings are. So I'm pretty excited, because I think that'll be a whole new avenue that I'll be going down with them, to get their perspective and see what they talk about. Because I get an inkling before of what they're going to talk about and try to get the thoughts gathered. But this one, this should be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully sometime this week they kind of give me the nudge to say, let's talk about it, because I'm definitely going to be egging them on in the next day or two and say, let's get this going. I want to know what your thoughts about it, because I think love within the human form versus their perspective is, I don't know. It should be interesting. So hopefully I'll talk to you guys in a couple days, and have a great week. Bye.